What is the value of working with a financial advisor? Back in 2019, Vanguard did a study on it, and we're going to look through their results coming up next. Hey, my name is Mel Stubbs. I'm here on behalf of Retirement Benefits Institute, talking to federal employees about their retirement system and planning better for retirement. Please like and subscribe if you like this kind of information. What is the value of working with a financial advisor? What's the value of working with a financial advisor that understands your federal benefits? Now, I know a lot of people are so concerned about fees that they don't want to work with a financial advisor. Well, Vanguard recently did a study, and let's go through what they found. So in Vanguard's study, they looked at people using like self-directed accounts where they're doing all the planning themselves, and they compared it to people that are using a financial advisor. And what they came up with is that people using a financial advisor earned about 3% more every year. Then they looked further into it and found three different areas that they found improvement working with a financial advisor. So let's go through the three. So the first area that Vanguard looked was portfolio construction. They're talking about cost of the funds, diversification, tax efficiency. And what they determined is somewhere between 0 and 1.15%, so up to 1.15% of growth is better when you're working with a financial advisor. As we're talking about TSP in your portfolio construction, you've got 5 funds to choose from. There's the G and F on the conservative end, and CS and I are on the aggressive end. There are a lot more options out there. In an IRA where you have unlimited options, there's small cap funds, mid cap, large cap, micro cap. There's sector funds. There is value funds. There's sector rotation where you have certain money in certain sectors, and as the business cycle changes, it will shift to what they deem to be better sectors at that time. They even have funds where you are in the stock market when times are good, but if the stock market goes down, there are some limits and they can get you out of the stock market. There's a lot more choices out there than what the TSP has. You only have the 5 funds. You've got some L funds, but they're still just those 5 funds in a predetermined mix. There is some portfolio construction limitations with the TSP. Is your portfolio suitable to your risk level? Are you taking too much risk? Are you not taking enough risk? There are some limitations there. Vanguard found that there is value in working with somebody that can help you in this area. The next area that Vanguard looked at was wealth management, and they found that financial advisors on average earned 1.45% more in this area. In this area, Vanguard looked at spending strategies and rebalancing. Now, you may have traditional money that's going to be taxed. You may have Roth money that for the most part is not taxed. You may have some just joint money, just money that is subject to capital gains taxes. Let's say you need to make a withdrawal. Where do you take it from? Working with somebody and understanding the tax implications from taking money from each of these strategies makes a difference. Sometimes it is wise to take it from one strategy over another, depending on your tax situation. Another thing about spending money is what investments to take it from. Let's say that you have half of your money in the G fund, conservative, and you have half of your money in the C fund, aggressive. With the TSP, if you set up a $2,000 distribution every month, they're going to send it to you pro rata, meaning half of it, or $1,000, is going to come from the G fund, and $1,000 is going to come from the C fund. Well, that doesn't sound bad, does it? Well, think about, what if the stock market crashes? Think back to last year with COVID, and the stock market dove about 34%. You probably don't want to be selling the stock market when it's that low. But when you're taking the distribution from TSP, you don't have a choice. Half the money's coming from the C fund, half of it's coming from the G fund. In a perfect world, you might want to take the entire distribution from the G fund side to let the C fund come back. And of course, fast forward a year, the stock market did wonderfully well last year, and it did rebound. And you would not have wanted to sell the C fund. That spending strategy can make a big difference to stop you from selling while it's low. I can see where there's some value there. The other thing, rebalancing. Over the last year, in 2020, the stock market did wonderfully well. If you were set up 50-50 with half of your money aggressive and half of it conservative, the aggressive portion will be much higher now. You might need to rebalance. You might be taking more risk on than you need to be taking. These type of strategies are beneficial to get these worked out right, and most of the time, working with a financial advisor, they can help you with these type things. Now, the last section Vanguard looked at was behavioral coaching. Now, all the other sections have been between 0 and 1.15%, or 0 and 1.45%. Well, in this one, they say the benefit is 1.5% and up, meaning there are instances where it is hugely beneficial to work with somebody. So what does behavioral coaching mean? A lot of times it means setting up a financial plan, and hopefully the financial plan works in good times and works in bad times. And then it's keeping clients from jumping off the edge and panic selling when things are horrible, or taking on too much risk when things are good. It's sticking to the financial plan even when emotions run high. I've got a few examples of where behavioral coaching would have been good. I just recently talked to somebody on the phone that said back in 2016, when Trump was elected, they were really nervous, emotions were high, they went to the G Fund and stayed in the G Fund from 2016 all the way to 2021. Well, let's look at the returns for the S&P 500 during that time. You'll see here the returns are 117% during that time frame. That's huge. This person missed out on more than doubling their account because they had it all in the G Fund. Now, I'm not saying they should have had it all in the C Fund, but they probably should have had some portion of their portfolio in the stock market, but emotions were high and they didn't, and they missed out on it. They missed out on 117% worth of growth. Working with a financial advisor, they would have been able to calm them down, show them the big picture, and how a certain portion of the money may need to be conservative, but a certain portion probably should be aggressive, and could have helped walk them through that situation. If return is your only metric for judging if something is good or not, it will cause you to take more risk than you might want to take. And if the market goes bad when you have more risk than you should take, it's going to be bad for you. So I can agree with Vanguard that these three areas, when you're working them all together for good, cumulatively, it can add up to a better financial planning experience. Setting up a suitable portfolio, that makes sense. And the TSP is very limiting in that. Being tax efficient by Roth converting, paying taxes at potentially lower rates, that makes sense. The TSP is very limited at that. Taking withdrawals from the right place, I can see where that would be beneficial. The TSP is limited at that. Working with somebody to develop a financial plan, and then working with them during the emotional times where the market's crazy to stick with it, I can see where that's beneficial. Here's a quote from the Vanguard study. Your clients get to keep more of their returns while getting better financial planning and potentially better tax efficiency. They will have a greater peace of mind knowing that their portfolio risks have been reduced, and they can always turn to you for advice. A lot of people don't want to go it alone, and you don't have to. You can get help with this. If you want to reach out to Retirement Benefits Institute to get help with any of these type of things, please find them at retireinstitute.com or give them a call at the number on your screen. My name is Mel Stubbs. I will talk to you next time.